Hello, guys. Welcome. I'm really excited that you are here with us right now. I'm really excited that we had the opportunity to do this. This conversation has been a long conversation. We started it in 2020, this particular conversation of curating your university experience. And I'm really excited that we have stories to consolidate, the conversation. We have stories of people who took their time in the university to learn skills that are pertinent to their advancement in their career, in their business, or whatever it is that they have chosen to do. And today we have two amazing persons who are going to be sharing their personal experiences with us, people that I know personally, people that I have watched from both closely and afar, and I've seen how that they have been able to take advantage of extracurricular activities to build the skills, the experiences, and also the relationships that is now helping them to find their way in the ever evolving workspace. My name is Andrew Binereka, and I'm the founder of Go A Bit Further Africa. And Go A Bit Further Africa is a social learning community that is designed to helping university students find the right skills to learn, the right experiences to acquire, as well as take advantage of relationships to position for career success. And today we have the phenomenal Theola Monday, who is going to be sharing our experiences with us, as well as Michael Asije. And I'm super excited. I'm just excited. I've seen how that their careers have, taken a good turn, and I just hope that you'll be able to listen in and join us in this conversation. If you're here with us, please do let us know where you're watching from. Are you watching from South Africa, watching from the UK, watching from Ekosodin, watching from Benin City, wherever you are, please let us know. I would like to know. If you can hear me clearly, please do let me know. If you can hear me clearly, do let me know. Yes. I'm waiting to hear from you. I'm waiting to hear from you. Yes, we went on a quick break, I would say, and I'm waiting to hear from you in the comments. So while we wait for the comments to come in, I'll just go straight into a brief introduction about Theola Monday and Michael as CJ, right? So these two young persons are people that I met on campus, at least at the time I was a resident. Theola Monday was a colleague of mine. Should I say a colleague or a classmate of mine? And I saw how that she was able to, take advantage of life on campus to prepare for life after campus, right? And that's basically what this conversation is about. And she's a first class graduate in a department that is very difficult for people to get first class. And I'm super excited that she agreed to be here today to share her experience with us. And we know that we have a number of university students who are in that same experience. They're having that same experience, and they're in the campus, and right now they feel like they don't have the time to build the skills, the time to take advantage of extracurricular activities. But we are here today to bring you stories that would inspire you to see that it is possible no matter the course that you're doing. As a matter of fact, Michael Asije just recently graduated. He graduated from the Department of Optometry, and it's a course that engages you throughout your time on campus. And so if he is able to take advantage of other opportunities to learn skills, to enrich and deepen his experience, I believe that anybody who is intentional about their growth would be able to do the same, right? And there's a term that all of this is built on. It is called concerted cultivation. And if you have the time, you can look it up, concerted cultivation. And Malcolm Gladwell tried to use that to explain, situations where parents are actively involved in the cultivation of the skill set, the experiences of their children. And we are trying to extend that conversation to you as a university student to say that you need to be very intentional about curating your learning experiences, because at the end of the day, you do not want to delegate that to people who care less or who do not care about your life. And so that's the reason why we're bringing this conversation to you. And if you are here with me, leave me a comment, let me know where you are watching from, and guess what, maybe you might just win a prize. So thank you very much for staying to this point. I'm going to bring up our guest for today, and they are going to share with us their experiences. They're going to be speaking to us, sharing their stories. So please take your notepad and your pen and try to make sense of their story. Try to take on actionable steps that you're going to begin to implement today for the results that you're looking to get. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Theola Monday. You can go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you very
Good
much,
evening.
Andrew, for that introduction. I'm flattered. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. It's such a privilege to be here and to be speaking on this platform today. Now, away with all the formalities, my name is Theola Ehinomi, but as I was introduced, I prefer to be called Theola Monday. It's also my name and it's easier. So yes, Theola Monday. Currently, I am a communications executive and I currently work in the non-profit space. I work with the Nigeria INGO Forum. We are a forum of, okay, let me not, I'm not
Go
here to
ahead.
market. I'm not here to market the organization, but yes, that is just the sum of who I am. So let's get straight to business. First of all, like while telling my story, especially with um stuff like this, I like to begin from the beginning, and that was in 100 level. When I got into school, I didn't have like any academic goals because I was coming from a background like a secondary school that had a lot of gifted people. So it was not, you just had to pass. There were just a set of people that used to take first, second, third. So my own was just, let me just do the best I can, like I've been doing, and just pass. So I want to emphasize that in 100 level, I met no one. I did not socialize. I did not do anything. All I was doing was going from, if you know Uniben, then you know Hall 2. That was where I was in 100. In fact, till I graduated. So all I did was from class to Hall 2. And maybe if it's time for fellowship, then back to hall 2, then I go to class, hall 2. So it was a very triangular life all through 100 level. And one part of me thought that is the way to get the kind of maybe the grades I want, or just put my head down, because you hear a lot of things when you're going into school as a girl. Don't do this, don't do this, so just put your head down, don't make any noise, just be quiet and stuff like that. So that was how it was for me in 100 level. And I think the time I read the most in my life, in my academic life, was in 100 level. And when the results came out, because the whole session results, they are compiled like for the whole year and released in your second year. So when I saw it in 200 level, I was like, is this what I've been working for? So it was a bit, it was not bad, but it was The expectation was high, and I was like, no, this is not it. At that point I was just like, so I started to ask myself questions. So if you are going to say you want to dedicate your whole life to this education, and you're not even going to be number one, what's the point? Better diversify and put your energy elsewhere. That was my stance from the very beginning. And the reason why I always talk about my 100 level to 200 level transition was because that was when my mentality shifted from a 100% curricular life to start integrating extracurricular activities. My 100 level, it was, like I said, my result wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I wanted. So in when the results were pasted in 200 level, people were not like, who is this particular person? So that is how people knew me in a class that I had been for a whole year. That is when people started knowing, who is Theola? Where, so that you know how quiet I was in 100 level. But I was like, there's no point. So I started to dip my hand into a lot of things. And the first thing I dipped my hand into, and as I'm telling this story, I want you to pick certain lessons, just like I did when I was like reviewing my life. Like, how did you get from here to here? And the first step I took in 200 level towards like diversifying my interests apart from like curricular activities was because of something a friend said. That friend, we are still very close till date, and he's still a very important part of my life. He was like, Tiola, you cannot just be doing book. He was like, you have to try other things. I know you can do this. I know you can do this. When you come into school and maybe they give you lecture from home, they'll be like, avoid all this thing. Social life is just this. Like there are a lot of stereotypes around being sociable. When people hear social and university, their first thought is, oh, you'll be going to clubs, be going to party, you just be doing anyhow. And I will admitting that that was my own mentality in 100 level. So my friend was like, it's not Joe if you don't want to party, because apart from moral standing and all of that, I don't like parties. It gives me headaches. So I was like, he was like, no, it doesn't have to be party, just mingle, let people know you, say what you're about, blah blah blah. And that was how he talked and talked and talked me into running for vice president in my department. Remember that I was very quiet. Remember that I was very quiet. It was like the most unnecessary thing to do. And even when I declared interest, people thought I was joking. When I would come up to this to the podium and start talking and be like, this one, vote for me, and all those things that they used to do. People, they never used to listen to me because they were like, this one is just book. Why is this girl playing catching cruise with us? So nobody took me seriously. But I still continued. This said friend, he helped me. This said friend and my other friend I had made, he helped me to distribute stuff and sell chips. If you've ever been into student politics, you know how very complicated it is. I loaned that time, that money, naira still had value. I loaned like I think 10,000 or 7,000 from my mom. I said, you should give me out to do campaign. Everybody, even my mother, laughed. She was like, what are you doing? Because why I am emphasizing this is that it was out of character for me. And that is one thing I want to emphasize here. It is important for you to go out of character positively. And it is when you go out of character that you understand your limits, you understand your capabilities. Like I knew I was a very I was a very confident child, but I didn't think my confidence was the confidence that they used to stand in front of plenty of people and be talking different things and be a student representative. I didn't think that was my own confidence. My own is just that, oh, you can't bully me. That's my own confidence. But it was when I took that step, became a student, and during that transition, during that the whole getting to know people. Now my academics, and because people knew me for book and they were like, oh, this girl is running, so they wanted to listen to me, but they didn't take me seriously. They were just like, oh, Let's just hear what she wants to say.
Yeah.
And throughout that process, unknown to me, I was building my public speaking skills. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just knew that I got better at talking to people. I
Talking
got
to
better
people.
at telling people what I wanted. I got better at communicating. I could communicate with 100 level student and they wouldn't know that I'm in 300 levels or so. I could communicate with final year and they wouldn't know where I'm coming from. So I unconsciously I learned public speaking. That is another point I want you to note. The first one was about stepping out of my comfort zone,
That's
doing
my
something
comfort.
uncomfortable, the transition. The second one was a friend influenced me. It was one that was just shouting on me that step out of your shell. Life is not about book. Now, the third one is public speaking. Now, when I finally, and that public speaking, it was on my manifesto date, the day of my manifesto. That was when I gained all of my votes. Let me not say all, maybe like 80%, because people were so moved by my speech that I didn't even understand why they were moved. So, but people were so moved by my speech, they were like, oh, no, it's that second girl, it's that second girl, because we were two running for the position. And I'm like, it's that second girl that I will vote for. She's the one, that one that is dark there, because we're also dark and fair. I was the dark one. So, it was my manifesto dates, my public speaking skills that earned me that position. Now, that's three. Now, when I stepped into this position, I did not know anything about school politics. And if you know a school like Uniben, you know school politics is a big deal, kind of. It's almost like Nigerian politics. There's a lot of things inside. Now, at that point, I started to learn new things. And the reason why I'm talking about this experience is that unconsciously, during this period when I was vice president in my department, I learned negotiation, I learned leadership, I learned communication, I learned community building, I learned public speaking, and all of this I did unconsciously. Now, when I started to realize when that these things were having an effect on me was even after school. When I would talk, I'm just like, you look like you've done this for a while. This one. I'm like, no, no, I'm just used to and just this is something I've built from school. Now, during that period also, now all of the things I learned during my stint as the vice president were all like soft skills. But during that time I also needed to make money. And I'm not a corrupt politician, so I couldn't earn from what's
Yeah.
it called, from the department. So I was looking for ways to earn money, and I had to. And I think this is also important. I had to make an audit of what I know how to do better than the next person and how I could monetize it. Now, I was
Isaac.
always on my phone. I was always on my phone, and I am guilty of that, and I am still trying to curb that. But I was like, this phone I'm always touching, sure you cannot make me money. So that was the point where I started to actively seek out social media roles because I loved consuming content and actually creating that content for people. And I felt this is something I can do for a brand. Now that's I think it was when I consciously made that note that I want to do social media. Let me just be helping people manage their social media and be posting on their page. I saw an opening on Facebook, and thankfully they didn't need experience. It was sort of like a sent a message to the DM of the person, and I think the
Yes,
person made a short list from the messages and from the way I presented myself, because I was already getting better at communicating. I presented myself. I was like, oh, this. Although I don't have prior experience, I am very skilled at managing social media pages. I have a social media page, and I'm also this one. Remember, I had never been employed. That was my first job, and when I told my mom about it, it just looked like a joke to her. She was like, why are you getting a job? But the other thing I want to also mention is that your real life starts when you start to take responsibility for yourself. That is when you actually start doing things. So at the point I started taking responsibility for, and I feel when people talk about these things, it goes very deep. Sometimes it can be very small. Me, the reason, to be very honest, the reason why I wanted to start making money is because my data, it was getting too expensive, and my allowance was not covering it. I was like, and I don't want to beg. I have a functioning brain, functioning hands, everything is working. Why will I be begging? So that was when I started looking for social media roles. Now I started taking responsibility for my life, and from there I branched into writing, and all of these things, little by little by little by little. I think my time for introduction is up now, sha. But all of these things, little by little, from joining it here, joining it there, by the time I documented these experiences on paper, I realized that I have lived. By the time I graduated, I already had 3 years experience. Now, 3 years experience in the professional world is not beans. It is not. It is not beans, because I had volunteered. I had done like not even internship. I had taken on some roles, even though the pay was small, and it was only meeting needs that I had at that moment. But by the time I documented these things, and I realized that I've actually gone really far, and all of those experiences joined together, plus the other ones I started getting, the courses and everything, all culminated in where I am at this moment. And the place I am currently is not a place I thought I would be last year. It was way better. It is way better. And from this point, even to the future, I know it's going to go from better to best. So I think my 10 minutes is up. So yeah, that is my story.
Wow.
A very, very abridged.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
I think it's the first time I'm hearing the full story and it's really
It's not
exciting.
full. It's not full.
No, yes, I know it's the abridged version, but I know that there are some details that you shared here right now that I'm hearing for the first time.
Yes.
Because your own faculty was quite different from ours. So some of the details I was not really exposed to some of those details. And it's really exciting to hear you, share these experiences. I spent 4 years. It was not even 4 years. There was COVID here and there are other strikes that elongated our stay in the university. But I spent the bulk of that time trying to have conversations with my classmates, even people that were, junior colleagues, senior colleagues,
Mm,
having conversations with them just to tell them that this is the reality of life
yeah.
right now.
Mm,
Don't be deceived. The university creates that kind of that force. You know, you feel you have control over your time. You feel you have everything in place. Of course, on Monday you know where you are going to. On Tuesday you know where you are going to. You know you have classes. So everything is programmed for you. And then when you leave the university, you meet life and you're like, whoa.
and
Your
that's
eye will open and
yeah.
you'll be like,
No, that
the
is something
experience.
I keep preaching against. Like, people say real life starts after uni. No,
After
real life
you.
is now. You are living real life, and real life actually starts when you start making decisions for your future. That is it.
Yes,
If you start
yes,
100 level,
yes.
your real life. If you started secondary school,
I've
self, your
started.
real life has started.
Your real life has started.
As long
Thank you
as you do
very
not need,
much.
yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're going to hear from Michael quickly. I was listening to your story. I was just, remembering some scenarios from the university. But then let's have Michael. Michael is going to quickly join us today, and he's going to share with us his experience. I think one of the stories that really got me to really take seriously my journey, take seriously the things I'm currently doing, is the story I heard when Eddie Current, I don't know if you know Eddie. Eddie shared the story of, he's a medical student and he was already, doing amazing things on campus. And then me doing education, studying English and literature, I was telling myself that there's no time, there's class, there's project, there's this. And then I heard his story. Then I was working with a magazine, volunteering with a magazine, and then he shared his story with the team. And then I was like, medical student, me, English and literature, I'm making excuses. That was when the story changed for me. And I'm really interested in Michael's story because he's doing up. He got recently. I think maybe when they do their induction, he becomes a doctor of optometry. But of course, he has had the experience, so I can refer to him as a doctor of optometry. So quickly, we just want to hear your story, Michael. How has it been with you? In the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I believe you can all hear me right now.
Yes, we can hear you,
My
Michael.
name is Michael Asije, and 2 days ago, I actually officially signed out from the University of Benin. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. A journey we all began way back 2015. Yeah, thanks to COVID, thanks to ASU, we're here. My journey as a University of Benin student has been one hell of a ride, and I come from a family where optometry was kind of a prominent profession in the sense that my dad's younger sister is a professor of optometry, and I had cousins that were studying optometry. Uh, one was, as when I was in 200 level, one was in 300 level, and another was in 500 level. And this is the three of us, all in University of Benin, the same department, from the same family. We're all studying optometry. And then I'm like, I cannot just be a regular optometrist when I graduate. And then, thanks to JCI Uniben, sorry, I'm not here to preach any campus organization. Thanks to
No,
JCI
go ahead, please.
Uniben, they organized, they organized I think that was employability business or something. That's the 1.0. Yes, that 1.0 or 2.0. They held it at basement, the banquet hall there. And the one of the speakers was speaking and he said, you can gather work experience while you're still in school, and also you can become relevant in your profession even as a student. And then I thought to myself, that's actually something I need to do to be outstanding, to be different from the other persons that are graduating as optometrists in my family, because I just have to be unique. I was just in 200 levels then because I was in biochemistry department before. I was not just enjoying biochemistry. Sorry to all the biochemistry persons that might be on this call. Biochemistry was just a no for me. So actually, when I was in my 300 level in biochemistry, I had to transfer to 200 level optometry. Meaning I lost 1 year. And when my colleagues were going to final year, I was just starting 200 level and all that. So, but I didn't feel bad in the sense I knew this was where I was going to. I had a dream, I had the focus that, oh, I want to be a doctor of optometry, and that I must achieve, and I will achieve it well. So I joined. When I listened to that seminar, my mind changed. I became a different person entirely. As that 200 level exams, second semester ended, that was around October 2018 or 2019. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, 2018. As soon as that exams ended in 2018, I came home for the holiday and I told my mom that
Okay, so Michael is going to join us again and continue from where he stopped. But before he joins us, I just wanted to, quickly dig into what he was saying. You know, when it comes to university life, a lot of people that have ideas about university life that doesn't really tally, and so they feel that usually it's because when they were at home, they didn't allow them to express themselves. So they come to the university with that mindset of wanting to take advantage of the freedom and do all the things that they did not get to do at home. And usually, what that does to a majority of them is that the time they would have used to learn, skills that are very important, skills that are relevant to maybe their purpose, relevant to their career, relevant to their business, they're not able to learn all of that. And so they graduate and they have that mindset of school as scam. Why? Because when they leave the university and face real life, what they have learned in school is not tallying with the workspace that they are now faced with. Most of which they bought those ideas from their parents, because of course, in the days of our parents, when they graduate from the university, jobs are waiting for them. So they just have to choose which one they want to do. And so that mindset doesn't apply to this generation. And a lot of people are finding difficult to understand it. They're finding difficult. So we're going to have Michael join us back to continue from where he stopped. Michael, go ahead. Okay. Okay. So that's usually the case for many university students. And so we spent the bulk of our time in school. We spent the bulk of our time trying to get people to change the way they thought about career, the way they thought about their time in university. And so we have students who have we've gone ahead to learn skills. I had students who were working as students and they were earning more than people who were already graduates. Like, right? They were earning more than people who were already graduates. As a matter of fact, when I was still on campus, I was making good money as a student, volunteering with things that I learned from organizing events like this online. Do you understand? Organizing events like this online. And so that is the mindset that we're trying to pass to university students. It is that there's a whole lot you can learn, a whole lot you can do with your time on campus. See, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah knew, her. Sarah and I work, the magazine I said I was working with, Sarah and I were team members on that magazine. Sarah, it's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. So that's basically it. So acquiring this skill set, the idea is me. I even advise that young university students should start their businesses on campus. Why? Because they have the opportunity to fail. Nobody's going to meet you and tell you that you have not registered your business on campus. Nobody will meet you and tell you that one. So you have the time to try, to fail, to learn, and grow in the process. So we'll bring Michael up to share some other parts of his story. An amazing story, really. Okay, Michael, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, my network was just fluctuating. Can you hear me now? Okay. Um, sorry. So back to where we were. Sorry, the Nigerian network is just messing me up. I'm really sorry about that. So, when I finished that seminar, as soon as I came back home for the holiday, I started looking out for eye clinics that I could work with. I was looking for eye clinics I could work with and get the work experience as an optometrist. And that was what led me to meeting. Sorry, can you hear me? Okay. So I started working with optometry. It's clinics around, looking for clinics that I could work with. So I went to one eye clinic. I was like, oh, I'm an optometry student. So I'm 300, I just finished my 200 level. I just want to learn how the optometry profession is going, and I'll work with you for free, volunteer with you for free. And that was how I got to be part of one of the leading eye clinics in Nigeria, Prime Optic House and Eye Clinic in Benin. And all my holidays, I was there, I was working, I was learning, I was gaining work experience. I was not yet a clinical student, but I was already excelling clinically. I was just in my preclinical year, and the clinical procedures I could do as at then, even my colleagues that were in 600 level could not even do those clinical procedures. That's because I was already a step ahead of my colleagues. By the time I came back to Nigeria, I was already excelling clinically. And I was already excelling clinically.
Okay. Okay. So, amazing story that he's sharing. You know, there was a time I was putting on my social media at that time. I'll tell students, I'll say, look for shops around, right? Especially accounting students. So we have accounting students that do not know how to use Excel sheets. They don't know how to use all those accounting documents. So I used to recommend some of them to take, to get all those small businesses around and then help them document their, have financial records that they can always look to, because small business fold up in 5 years because they're not able to monitor inflow and outflow of, their resources, their money. And so that was something I was recommending to accounting students at the time, to use that to gain experience. And the funny thing is that recently, um, I'm working as an accountant in a way. Not like an accountant in that sense, but just because I have that skill, I'm helping with basic accounting, right? And then one accountant came into the office one day, an auditor came into the office one day and he said, what did you study? I said, English and literature. I was like, he didn't say anything again. And me, I was inquisitive. I wanted to know why he was asking. And then I said, sir, so why were you asking? He said, because the way you were able to use the Excel sheet to create this, I'm amazed. Do you get it? So that's basically what it means. It means that you are able to create value for people, irrespective of what you studied in school. Michael is back with us. Michael, oh no. And this network is wonderful. Okay, Michael,
Like, I'm really sorry. The network is just really going off and
we
on.
understand.
I
We
don't know what's
understand.
happening
We
tonight.
understand. We
Okay.
understand. So just
So,
go ahead.
so as soon as I began going to those clinics, I was way ahead of my colleagues, doing things that even my colleagues in 600 level could not do as a 300 level student. And then I attended the Goldmine conference where Ubon King
Mm,
hosted, was around, uh, hosted by Precious Idaho and Victoria Wana. So I was there at the Goldmine conference, and I was like, I really need to network with persons that would put me on a pedestal that I would not even believe. And before now, since a few colleagues who had seen my passion for healthcare and in ensuring that, oh, people at the grassroots level should get the healthcare that they deserve, they reached out to me and they were like, Michael, we're trying to start up an NGO. Would you like to be part of us? I'm very funny. It's funny enough. I'm wearing the shirt today. The Retina Initiative, and then
okay.
we started it up, and we said, okay, this is what we want to do. Let's see how we can take the eye care that these persons do not have access to. Let's take it to them at the grassroots level, and that was what we did in 2019. And Which from there, that was how I got to the social impact space. And I knew that I had to make myself relevant on the global scale.
Oh no.
Someone made a statement and said, Dr. Eddie, and I quote, Dr. Eddie said, your competition is not your classmate in the
Oh, that's
university. Your
yeah.
competition is someone studying the same course with you in another university outside there. That's your competition. The competition is not your colleague that is studying banking and finance with you. Your competition is somebody that is.
Oh, I think Eddie has so many people that he has influenced, really. He has so many persons he has influenced, really. And it's just basically from a life of, when you are doing something and you are sharing that experience with people, it's easier for that, for your story to inspire people. And I think that's something that Eddie has, right? He was doing the work and was using that to inspire a good number of us. And it's just amazing to hear Michael say the same thing. I know I was a volunteer, not even a volunteer, I was a team member. I was part of the team that executed that training, the Good Mind Conference. When he mentioned Good Mind Conference, I was like, wow, are you serious?
And
Okay,
his
let's have
story
Michael
sounds
back.
very interesting. I wish I
Yeah,
could borrow
yeah.
him my network.
Okay, Michael, you can go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to connect my earpods. It's mistakenly
Okay.
disconnected.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear me. You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as Dr. Eddie made a statement, and I quote, he said, "Your competition is not someone that is studying the same course with you in your university. That means your competition is not someone that is studying optometry with me, who is my classmate at the University of Benin. But my competition is somebody that is studying optometry in the US, that is exposed to a whole lot of opportunities, and then we have to compete for something on a global scale.
Let's go.
Studying in Nigeria already, life don't score you 1-0. That's a known fact. Studying in a Nigerian university and a federal university for that matter, life don't score you 1-0. There's no two ways about it. But you just have to make yourself like packaged on the global scale. I was in church one day, and also a pastor that same period, he made a statement. He said, package yourself so you can be highly priced in the global market.
Mm,
Package yourself so you can be
mm.
highly priced in the global market. And with this, I was like, I
Oh,
can't have this myriad of persons telling me the same thing, and I will not want to remain the same. That person that's portraying from my father's village, will not see me. So that was how I had to tell myself, oh, I have to sit up and do something. Now, what were these practical steps I took? Aside volunteering for these um, clinics in town and all that, I actually started making some things. I had a passion for healthcare, and I knew that there was a problem with the healthcare system in Nigeria that I needed to solve. Now, once you know that this is a problem you want to solve, then you start acting towards it. I began by, okay, since I'm with the Retina Initiative, what can I do? Then, from my own Facebook page, from the little pathology I was learning in school, I had to start looking at these various eye problems that we experience as humans, very common ones, not the big ones, as simple as conjunctivitis, as simple as hyperopia, as simple as things like that. I I actually had to start writing on it. And I employed a skill called storytelling. Sorry, can we hear me? Okay, so I started writing on all these various eye problems with the skill of storytelling. So what will I do? Let's say I see a patient in the clinic because I was advancing in my academics. Let's say a patient comes to the clinic, patient has so and so issue, has conjunctivitis. I will now start narrating in form of story, like as if I was writing a report or a book. So I will now
We need to. Okay, so the network has not really been generous with Michael today, and then it's really sad because from what he's sharing, it pretty much drives home the point that we're trying to make.
okay,
Okay,
I think we're back.
okay, maybe you can just quickly say all that you want to say so that the network doesn't mess you up again. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay, I think I
We
can
can
go
hear
on
you. Go
now.
ahead.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So with that, I had to tell myself that, oh, okay, I there was a problem I needed to solve in my society, and then I was going through using the storytelling method to write on these things on my Facebook page. With that, a lot of persons began to like, oh, know that, oh, I suddenly experienced these symptoms. Oh, this is what I should do when I'm experiencing these symptoms. And with that, the brand came up, the string doc. Yeah, that's what I call myself, the string doc. And that string doc as a brand actually gave me like a leverage to perform on a global scale. Network. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. So with that, I was able to put myself on a global scale with the string doc brand. Now, how has this thing helped me as an optometry graduate? My volunteering skill helped me sharpen my clinical skills I needed for my profession. My communication skills helped me with my interpersonal communication with persons. With that, I was also leading a team. My leadership skills were improving. I would be given projects by various organizations I volunteered for to lead team members and to handle projects. That helped me in my project management. And these are skills that I have acquired so far while as an undergraduate. And then I was fortunate to be selected for a global exchange program where I got to go outside the University of Benin, go outside Nigeria to practice optometry as a student because it was for medical students and even for those not even in the medical space. As far as you are advocating for any of the SDG goals, you just apply for the exchange program and you are selected. So that was with ISEC then, and I went for the global exchange program in Kumasi, Ghana, and I was selected to practice, be an intern optometrist over there. So if I now put on my CV right now that I have a working
Yeah,
experience on the international level, so you will not see my CV when I tell you that, oh, I have not just practiced in Nigeria, I have practiced outside Nigeria. There's no way you will see that CV and you will reject it.
yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. Really amazing, Michael. I'm really excited. I think the reason why I'm excited is because when you're telling people about something and you don't have proof, You don't have people who have gone through that same path and seen the results that you have said that people normally see. It's difficult to drive home the point. And I'm really excited that we got the opportunity to listen to you, Theola, and Michael as well, share your experience, because it further drives home the point that if a university student decides today that they are going to take advantage of their time in the university to learn the skills that they need for life after the university, it basically tells us that they are going to position themselves for the opportunities that they are looking for. And the funny thing is, for me, I've not had to carry my CV and go to, the way people normally do it. You go to an office and then you want to submit your CV for a job. The way I've been getting all of the jobs that I've been getting has always been by word of mouth. Sometimes someone recommends me, and then someone calls me and says, so this person recommended you for this role. I don't know, when are you going to be free for a call? Do you understand? Like, that kind of engagement. Why? Because of the things that I did on campus. And a lot of the time, I know for Theola, I think one of the reasons why I really wanted Theola to be here was because she did well, first class. She did extracurricular activities, and she graduated the first class. Me, I wanted to hit first class, but but it didn't happen, right? But I graduated with a second class upper. And a lot of persons, would say that then they would say, guy, you better focus on your books. So don't do social impact finish. You do social impact finish, then you now fail in your academics, that kind of a thing. And then I had a mentor who was always singing it in my ear that, see, you are going to do all of this and you are going to graduate well. Do you understand? And so it's very important that university students know these things and are able to apply them. So, Theola, I'm going to ask a quick question. A challenge you faced, right? A challenge you faced, especially a challenge you faced, especially when it came to balancing academics and social life, right? Impact, politics, and all the many things you did. Just like 2 minutes, just hit it for us. And then Michael also is going to hit the same question. A challenge you faced, balancing your academics and then your extracurricular activities, and how you were able to navigate quickly. So, guys, if you have questions, please churn in your questions. Our speakers are here. They're going to answer your questions quickly before we call it a night today. So, over to you, Theola.
Thank you for that question, Andrew. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I think a major challenge I faced was time management. And the way I said it now, it sounds very simple, but then, no. Because at that time, especially during my I think it was more intense in 400 level for me, because then I had left what's it called, the presidency position, but I had soon transitioned from um my political position to a stakeholder position in the faculty, and then transition to other responsibilities that I was being called for here and there. Then I had two jobs. Then I was it was a lot. But one thing I learned was prioritizing. Now, every other thing I was doing, my jobs and everything, I was the only reason why I had the luxury to do those things was because I was in school. The leadership positions, the political positions, the only reason why I could do it was because I was in school. So I make sure to communicate those things to the people that I was serving. I was like, this is school. And Andrew, I don't know if you'd remember, I can't count the number of classes I missed. I make sure, like, if you have something, I'll say, excuse me, I have class. Can we reschedule? Because I know my person. I prefer, like, I retain what I hear more. This is why you must know yourself. When I hear, I retain more than if I read. And I understood that about myself. So I made sure not to miss any class. So if you even like it should be falling down, I was just like, please, my class ends by 9. Can we reschedule? to 9:30, and for sure I would be there by 9:15. That was how it was, and it actually worked out for me, even with my work, because they understood I was a student. Always communicate where you are part-time, and if you are delivering real value, people would want to accommodate you. Like, they would be so eager to accommodate you. My bosses knew that I was bringing value, so, and they knew I had to pass, so I would always communicate that this is the exam period, or I need to study. Can you maybe reduce my workload? Or maybe when I was doing social media, I had my boss, I told her that I can't handle like posting every day. Can I post 3 days in a week because of this? Because everything is jam-packed, and because I had built our relationship to that extent, and I was always delivering value. They were like, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, Shebi, it's cool, no problem, take all the time you want. So that was how I was able to balance everything and excel in everything. Priorities first, and communicate priorities and execute priorities. Yes, that's it.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Thank you very much. I know that time management is very important. I know a lot of young persons here right now would really like to hear that. And so, Michael, over to you. A challenge you faced trying to balance academics and the extracurricular activities, and how you were able to navigate. Michael, are you with us? Okay. I think if I were to answer that question, right, I would say, like you said, I always recommend that people should get to know themselves, get to know yourself. How do you assimilate? How do
Yeah.
you? Okay,
Okay. Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I heard the question. You said, how was I able to manage my time? Now, this is the thing. I do. There are some things I do. First thing first is to set my priorities straight. Okay. First thing first was to set my priorities straight. And in setting my priorities straight, I told myself, this is what I want, and this is how I want to do this thing. Sorry, did you get that? Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So I said the first thing I did was to ensure that I had set my priorities straight. And in setting my priorities straight, I told myself this is what I wanted to achieve, and I gave myself a realistic time frame to achieve those things. With that, I noticed that with that over the period of time, I noticed that when I since I do other things, because aside being in the medical space, I'm actually into music. I'm into musical performances and all. I told myself I have to balance my time, and this is where time management comes in. Just as Yola had said, time management is a very essential tool in.
Go ahead, Michael. Okay, so I think we've come to the end of today's conversation. Um, so it's so exciting, really, to listen to all that you've said, listen to all that Michael has said to this point. And like you guys have heard it, prioritize. Like what like what like what Theola said, prioritize, communicate priorities, and execute priority, right? Execute priority. Identify your priorities. And I would like to add to that. I said, get to understand yourself as a person. How do you learn, right? How do you learn? And then itemize the things that you want to achieve with your time on campus, right? I told myself that by the time I'm leaving the university, that I don't want to carry my CV to look for a job. I told myself as far back as before I gained admission into university, I don't want to carry my CV to look for a job. One, number two, I want my name to be when they hear Andrew Gneweka, somebody will feel something. Do you understand? And because I set that goal, and I told myself that even with doing all of this, I also want to graduate with a good result, right? And so anything that was not going to help me achieve any of this, okay, they one side. Do you understand? And so I was able to learn, I was able to learn new skills by wanting to help people do something. Just by showing interest, you just realize that okay, there's a problem right now, and then the only person that can solve that skill is someone. The only person that can solve that problem is someone that has a particular skill. Me, I will say yes. I will solve this problem. I will go and learn the skill and come back to solve the problem. And because I was that kind of a person, I know how to do so many things. Like I know how to do so many things. Sometimes I'm wondering, okay, which one should I focus on? Do you understand? So it's very important that you take your time on campus to learn skills, guys. Right? Take your time on campus to learn skills. Theola is better for it. I am better for it. Michael is better for it. Right? And we want that same experience for you. And so today, to wrap it up today, I want to say thank you to our guests, Michael and Theola, for being here with us today. I want to say thank you for agreeing to be here in such a short notice. We look forward to more exciting conversations in the coming months and years because we are going to be looking at your career trajectory because we know that you are going to have an amazing experience, right? We know you're going to have an amazing experience. Thank you very much. Just one word. You want to say one thing to a university student right now, what would it be?
Uh, Sorry, I was trying to unmute. So, if there's something I want to leave everyone with, it is two words actually. Take responsibility. That's just it. No one is coming to save you. No matter how much your parents love you, they can only do so much. No matter how many uncles and aunts you have, they can only do so much. No matter how the high places your uncles and aunties are in, they can only recommend you to a point where you are not an embarrassment to them. So please take responsibility. Take responsibility for your life. A lot of sorry, I'm taking more than 1 minute, but because of we live in a global village, we are the most advantaged generation, in my opinion. There are so many opportunities. You know better, so do better. You know there are opportunities, so do it. I think it's the doing that is the problem. Just do it. Just start. You know what to do, so start. That's just it. Take responsibility. You are the anchor. Maybe not the anchor if you are spiritual of your life, but you are in the driver's seat. Take charge. Whenever you wake up, your life starts. If you wake up at 40, your life starts. If you never wake up, something like that. You understand? So yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. May you wake up. Okay, so over to Michael.
Amen. Okay.
Michael,
Quickly,
just one word,
basically, what I would just
right?
have
To
to
the
say is
university
this.
students right now.
This network issue, eh? Michael is supposed to sue his network provider after this day.
I'm telling you, I'm
Supposed
telling
to
you,
sue. I was enjoying his story.
I'm serious, seriously. Okay, guys, so that's basically it. You heard it from Theola Monday. He said, take responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Really, nobody. Nobody is sitting somewhere right now thinking about how they can help you to find your way, in school and then find the right job. Nobody is doing that. Right? It's
Nobody.
only organizations like us that are basically creating the platform for you to hear this, hear this and apply it. Right? Yeah, somebody said it's when you wake up, you call morning. Yes, very important. Thank you,
Eh?
guys. We look forward to having you engage us on other platforms. We look forward to hearing from you. If you're not currently on our community on WhatsApp, click the link somewhere in the description and join us right there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can always get notifications when we go live with another Power Pack session. We have another session coming up on Saturday. Amazing session, the same stories, just to inspire you, to get you ready for the life that awaits you, right? And also that same Saturday, we are going to be revealing our line of speakers for our virtual campus store, which is happening on the 20th to 22nd of October. We are also going to be clocking 5. It's going to be our 5th anniversary, and we are excited to have done this for the past 5 years. Do well to join us. Follow us on social media. Follow our guest also. Our guest is Theola Monday on all social media platforms. Our guest
On.
is Michael Asije on all social media platforms. You can always refer to the flyer. You can always refer to the flyer to get the spellings of their names, so that you can, experience them closely. Thank you very much for staying to the very end of this conversation, and we can't wait to have you join us in our community. Have a blessed evening. Bye bye.